Well, hello there. So I'm going to post herein a performance of the ISU adult competition in Oberstdorf. It's still last month now. And what I get out of this is I get to show off a good performance, and what you get out of this is maybe you get to be entertained, but most of what we do here on this channel is didactic teaching and learning, and so maybe you can also learn something from my performance in the artistic event. A few things to bear in mind maybe as you watch through this performance, or as you consider your own approach to your sport or your figure skating. This performance was from start to finish, from the opening pose to the ending. The whole thing was entirely improvised. The only thing that I had to bear in mind as I went out onto the ice and took my opening pose was that, oh yeah, I got to do, I'm planning to do an axel, because you have to do at least one single jump and you can now do an axel. And I decided, I got to do something special with the axel. I mean, it can't just be an ordinary axel. And so I tried to step up the speed on it, but I got this idea kind of late, a few days before, so I started practicing my axel with more and more speed as much as possible. And what I show in this performance is sort of only a step in that direction as far as the axel, but you can notice maybe that I was in a pretty good flow state, and my skating skills were very sharp after preparing well for the competition. So it was an axel I was quite proud of. Not that I wouldn't be able to criticize it either, but it was quite a nice axel, and not super high speed, but I'm going to try to get it higher and higher speed for the future. I noticed also from watching through this performance and deciding how I might do some commentary for it, I noticed that my musicality, as much as I believe in and have kind of built a little reputation on musicality, choice of music is very eclectic, and I use all different styles. In this case it was Sugar Plum Fairy from the Nutcracker, and but sort of a rock version of it, a gnarly rock version of it, twangy. I learned the music quite well. I practiced improvising, so I didn't just show up and decide I'm going to improvise. I practiced. I ran through this program not more than probably 6 times total before the competition, and I just improvised it each time. And the first time I did it, I just just skated around, did a few little things, didn't put any pressure whatsoever on myself, and didn't really put that much pressure on myself through the whole process. But every time I improvised, I had something in mind as to how I was going to make it better. Like, I reflected on what I had just done, and not only maybe patted myself on the back for a few innovations that I came up with, or because I had the stamina to make it through with good energy, but also I've been working specifically on trying to break out of my comfort zone, which is to say, in this, how I am talking about it now, I wanted to push myself as far as being creative. I didn't want to get into my old routines and habits and moves. I've been practicing new combinations and new moves, and I wanted to show them. I wanted to be able to be aware and think during the performance so that I could invent and discover during the performance. That's the best. That's a really motivating factor, and that's fun, actually, to go out in a performance and come up with something, and it feels like creativity in making good judgments and pulling something off, we get gratification from that. And I get special gratification from creativity. As humans I think it's kind of fundamental, we're sort of creative beings. And so if I can make up something new in the performance itself, that is gratifying and it's motivating. That gives me makes me feel like things are going well. And so we do perform better, and we can parlay those types of successes into the rest of the performance. So I think I was quite good at that, but my musicality was not as precise as it could have been, and as I give myself kind of credit for. So I got a awakening there, like, okay, I used the music, I don't know, maybe I had the right number of steps within the beat of the music, but they weren't exactly, I didn't step exactly on the beat all the time. I was ahead or a little bit behind. So I think I could use some improvement there just by watching through this video. And I also noticed, to be more specific, that the crossovers that I did leading into the axle to gain speed, I was thinking actually more about gaining speed than about the rhythm of the crossovers, but I didn't stay exactly on the beat for all of those crossovers. I could have done better on that. The spin was a convergence of technique and artistry, and I believe they kind of go together, and almost that the old system of separating artistic impression from technical merit was kind of, there was such a huge gray area that it was kind of not necessary. I frankly, in thinking about it, would think that one judge should give one mark for one performance. I don't know how the scales develop, but all the complexities nowadays. Yeah, but this artistic program is quite free, only those two requirements. But yeah, the spin, I don't use the toe pick on the spin, so I'm trying to show I want to keep the spin moving, right, and not slow down that quickly with friction. And with that very, very fine balance, staying right on that one part of the blade and keeping the balance really good, then I have the ability to get rid of tension in the body. Balance alone is keeping me where I need to be, and so I get rid of most of the tension, so I'm allowed to sort of play around a little bit with the arms and hands in the middle of the spin, which is difficult. It's actually difficult. You can lose we lose our balance in spins when we move, and so but often the creativity comes frankly from error, from bad balance and randomness. So like for example, well, some of the arm motions that I did during that spin may have been a reaction to those slight perturbations in balance that we undergo because our balance isn't perfect. So to compensate for the loss in balance, maybe I'll throw an arm out in one direction, but then I'll just like expand the motion somehow and make it part of the creativity of the performance. So yeah, well, improvisation, it does involve sort of staying in a type, what some people would describe as a flow state. And I kind of get it, and I have a concept of a flow state. Maybe it has to do with being aware of your surroundings, aware of yourself, aware of your emotions, aware of the music, aware of the people, and being able to think and do at the same time. And so this is the direction I wanted to go in. The biggest nervousness I had during the event, frankly, was I bumped into Norbert Schramm there in Oberstdorf. Turned around, there's Norbert, his voice. Hey, Norbert, it's been a while, and it was great. And so somehow I asked him, or Ryoko was there, and, oh, Norbert, will you be Gary's coach for the competition? So Norbert was gladly very helpful in that regard. And you'll get to see Norbert in the kiss and cry if you stay through the whole performance, if you don't get bored and go off and do something else instead of watching my whole performance. Yeah, you'll see that I had some very complex maneuvers in this, and that was sort of more my focus, was going for pushing myself as far as the steps themselves, rather than specifically the musicality. And doing both is an added challenge. But yeah, if I go to Vernon in September, according to the schedule, it'll depend on a few things. We're checking it out to see if we can set up our booth there in Vernon. And if I go there, hopefully I'll take it to the next level. But I hope this has been instructive for you, and thank you very much, Norbert, for being my coach, even though I'm not used to having a coach. And so, like, how do I deal with this, having this coach? Because I don't want to interrupt my 6-minute warm-up by coming over to my coach necessarily. And was just a little nervous about having a coach. But yeah, I know Norbert very well. We were able to laugh and joke about a few things. And I did mention to Norbert, Norbert, we can be really nervous out here because we can think, there could be in the future, now and in the future, electronically, so many million, maybe a million people will see this video. Probably not, but many more than are just present in the building itself. And we can be motivated by the people out there in the virtual reality who are going to be seeing the video. And I was saying, and Norbert says, Gary, it doesn't work that way. You're only motivated by the people who show up in the building there. You don't really, during a performance, thinking logically that there's all these people that are going to maybe watch it on a screen is not really so much part of the performance. Improvisation is performance-oriented. Yes, there's a lot you can achieve through choreography. I missed a few of I didn't use the phrasing of the music as effectively as I could have, for example. But through choreography you can, like when I did Malevolent Landscape, that was choreographed from start to finish. As little as possible was random. It was like choreographed, arms, legs, free leg, steps, motion, music, everything. And so you can really, by putting that thought into it, you can really use the music maybe more intimately in a certain way. But by just doing what you feel like at a particular time in the here and now, in your flow state, it adds some freshness and some performance quality. And this is something that's part of your grade of execution. This is something that the judges are supposed to look for and do look for and recognize. So I think I was high on the grade of execution, which is actually all there is in the artistic performance. But I'm not really so much paying attention, frankly, to the judges. They do their job, and it all comes out the way it is. And I don't need to know and get involved in it. So I'm more motivated by personal achievement, because I know where I've been, and I know where I'm going, and I know how I'm doing, and so I can assess more accurately from my own perspective whether I'm making progress or not. And it's not like the judges aren't important either. Like, we have this sport that's defined in a certain way, and we need judges in figure skating. You pretty well have to have judges of some type. I mean, maybe we're going to have some AI judges in the future who could more accurately assess levels of difficulty, and all these things that humans are flawed at assessing, like this concentration of things that the judges have to look for in a free skate. It's humanly impossible to be to judge according to the criteria, because when you have to assess the component, the 3 different whatever it is components, all simultaneously, and whenever there's an element in the free skate to assess the grade of execution of that, to interrupt what your concentration on the component scores, to assess these particular elements, it spins, what was the quality, grade, execution according to all these values that we have for that, the standards for that. It's humanly impossible. Maybe AI could do a lot better job of it, but yeah, there is also this human aspect, something to do with performance and emotion, that's very human, which I think we don't want to lose in our sport. And it's something that's enjoyable for me, actually, is even in my practice. So improvising is not something that's really out there, experimental for me. That's the way I live my life, and that's the way I live my that's the way I practice. When I go on the ice, I stay away from routines, from schedules, from plans, from superstitions. I just kind of like sort of follow my heart and do what I feel, mostly. Of course, with that sounds very selfish, but that goes with the big responsibility of recognizing how you want to be respectful and courteous to other members of the human society too. So it's not that do what you want means you have to be reckless, but there's just so many factors that come into play according to what I'm going to do in my practice session. And setting the goal of landing my double axel on this session on my last day in Fukuoka took too much of a toll on my body, and I'm still recovering from it. So that's why I remind myself to listen to your body, check out circumstances, be aware of your environment, not only the things in your environment that are moving, but also the people in your environment. All of these sorts of things that are important in our daily life are important in our figure skating performance as well. Our interaction and our recognition and our appreciation for the audience and the judges and the people that are in attendance while we're out there performing, skating. Thank you to Ryoko and to Kaz and to Kojiro for your talents and time in helping to make the Gary Moves project happen. And thank you to whoever posted a few days ago my Song of Songs performance, yellow shirt, shades performance. Recently I saw it on Instagram and I got many good comments about that. So, and I watched it. I don't usually like to watch my own performances. I would never go and seek out my own performance just to watch and live in the past. But I did watch it because somebody shared it to me directly, and it brought tears to my eyes. Oh, did I used to be that good? Oh well, it was just a different era. But I have had a lot of experience in figure skating through the years, so yeah, I should know a thing or two about it, and hopefully I'm going to know a thing or two more about it next week to report on the next edition of the Moves News, signing off for you now from Tokyo. And I've been waffling about what to do today, but it's just drizzling mildly and the forecast is not too bad. It's going to be wet most of the way up to Karuizawa on the Kawasaki Ninja, but that's what I'm going to collect my things for now and do. And I am getting together a lot of, actually keeping a list of, it does help to keep a list. It's not totally necessary. I'd like to get past that. But I do keep a list. When an idea occurs to me that I want to share with you on the Gary Moves, on ice video sections, I not only help making a list, I refer to it, oh yeah, I wanted to show this, and then I practice it more maybe, and so I can make a better quality demonstration and explanation of certain things. The list that I have is endless. I'm never ever looking for ideas, what I'm going to talk about in my next video. No, there's a long waiting list, a backlog of ideas and things, so lots to come in the future, but that's probably long enough. It's probably long, maybe even Nagasugi. Bye for now. Sayonara.
Representing Canada, Gary Beacom. Thank you, Gary. The score, please. Gary Beacom from Canada has earned in his free skating 93.25 points. He's currently in first place. Next on
from Canada, Gary Beacom. From Canada, Gary Beacom. The scores, please. Gary Beacom has earned 27.75 points.